Stocks were booming last week thanks to a post on Reddit. And here to give us a quick crash course on all things we need to know about stocks and investing is Kamaron Leach, Bloomberg's news reporter. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So, can you give us a breakdown of what happened with the GameStop, Robinhood, Wall Street? It was all over social media last week, and tell us about the impact it had and if we're still having, savings a week later.
Yeah, well, 100%. We're still going through this. This is still an ongoing process. For GameStop specifically, there was a lot that happened. Let's see if I can break it down very briefly for us. This kind of started back actually with COVID-19, just seeing the pandemic, sit people down. Obviously, people are at home, they don't have, and now they have a little bit of excess money. And usually you see this is the disparity when it comes to investing. You have people who actually have money. And so when they're actually at home, they're not spending on things they usually would. So everybody's sitting on extra cash. Or people who are more well off are sitting on extra cash. So now you get over into the end of 2020, coming into 2021, you have people trying to flip this money and make it more than what it already is. People trying to figure out how to create and build wealth. So now you have this retail frenzy of a lot of people putting and pouring money into the stock market. And so that is creating this whole just like hooray and this group crowdfunding to specific stocks. That's when you have Reddit forums. And obviously, I mean, for those who don't know, Reddit forums have long been a thing for people to, build and find their communities. And this is kind of what happened with GameStop. You have a lot of these huge hedge funds, shorting companies like GameStop and AMC because they're expecting the stock price to go down. And if you look at Wall Street Bets, which is really the group, the Reddit group behind, uh, you know, GameStop, it is you sense a feeling that they were hurt from the 2008 crash, and so now they're trying to figure out, okay, all of these hedge funds are trying to drive these stocks down. Why can't we win off of this? And so basically, you saw this community of investors, of retail investors, some new, some old, pouring money into GameStop and basically going against hedge funds. So when you have these short positions stacked against all this money pouring into these stocks and driving the price up, this is when you find the issue of a short squeeze.
Mm. And in the midst of that, is it clear to say that there's a lack of diversity in trading? Trading, excuse me.
I mean, well, to be honest, yes, straightforward, yes. I think the issue is, having the foundation and trying to learn about how we can build and create wealth, especially for Black people. I think we look at the stock market as just some huge, barrier to get over, which in some cases it is. Going back to the olden days, way before my time, there were just so many barriers for Black people to start getting invested into Wall Street. But now with apps like Robinhood, although they did have a what people deem as a big failure for their consumers last week, they pretty much offer a very low barrier to get into trading, to get into investing in the stock market because there is zero free trading commissions. But so now we're seeing times change, and even last week, people see things travel across will trend across social media and saying, hey, I want to create an opportunity for my family as well too, and pour whatever little money I have into the stock market, and hopefully it flips. And I think that's probably one of the issues that we have to kind of change and get, switch the narrative. It's not about, investing for the short term. It's about investing for the long term. And when you can not look for these, quick get rich quick schemes, which some people saw GameStop as, you can kind of focus on building wealth creation for the long term.
And as we touch on some things, let's touch on the importance of leveling the playing field, as you briefly mentioned. And let's talk about why it is that we don't see people like us, Black people, people of color, with the knowledge of investing and trading and the knowledge behind stock.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite frankly, that's not something that they really teach in, traditional trades, into traditional schools,
Hmm.
elementary through high school, even going into college. That's not necessarily a course that you must take. It's something that you learn, kind of on the go, pretty much life in itself. And I think, just having some of those true life courses and skills being taught in elementary schools I mean, elementary, middle, and high school can get people started a lot earlier. I think now there's a lower barrier to investing now that you have apps like Robinhood and One Investing. just zero free trading commissions. I think that allows people to get into the stock market. But I think it's definitely an area that our people should focus on going forward for sure.
Well, Kamaron Leach, reporter for Bloomberg, thank you so much for joining us today and answering all of our questions. We appreciate you here at BNC.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Coming up, we are going to speak with a psychotherapist and health coach, Robin Stone, on some ways you can maintain a healthy diet while going through these tough times. BNC Morning will be right back.